Hey guys, this is the Fantasy Debate with Sam and Tate, brought to you by drrota.com. Get your daily prescription of fantasy sports. This episode is brought to you by WinView Games, the nation's sports prediction leader and home for pregame and live prop contests. You can play against your league mates, you can play against your family, or you can go head to head against your annoying, obnoxious, know-it-all co-host and finally settle the debate on who knows their stuff best. This week we're covering the Thursday night showdown of the Panthers and the Texans, and we are going to go over that on winview.tv/doc. Go there and get $20 off to match your first deposit. Before we go and get into all of these fun props, let's cover the injuries of week 2 that are going to affect your lineup in week 3. Tate, how the hell are you?
There's so many of them.
There are.
It feels like week 1 didn't feel like we had too many devastating injuries. Yeah, week 2, and in particular under center, a lot of quarterbacks hitting the IR or on the shelf for week number 3. So it's a fantasy trickle effect.
It is. This is a domino effect that's going to affect absolutely every other player that you likely have rostered. Maybe you don't have a player rostered there, but have someone on the opposing team that can benefit from the situation of the opposing team. We're going to try and tackle all of it right now, and then we'll get into all of our fun props with the WinView matchup for the Thursday night game. So first, let's start off with the one that I think that you're probably most excited about, which would be Justin Fields getting the start for the Bears.
Ooh.
Andy Dalton is hurt. No one likes anyone getting hurt, but I know that you're excited to have Justin Fields. I just wonder if you're excited to have him in this matchup with the stout Browns defense that they have.
If there's one way to attack the Browns, I'd rather try to beat them through the air. The Browns, certainly. Really, the Browns, though, are they super stout defensively? Didn't the Houston Texans have the lead against the Cleveland Browns in week number 2?
That they did, but as someone that is in the division and knows better than to, capitalize on one week's mistakes, this is a defense that's going to come back the week after and absolutely just go to tear a new one on the new opposing team. They are not one to forgive easily, so they're definitely going to come out and fight. I don't want to discount the Browns because every time I've done it in the past, it comes back and bites me. So the fantasy gods, I'm just, I'm trying to just hedging my bets.
The thing is with Justin Fields against the Cleveland Browns, right? So when you're taking a look at what Fields and his sample size, when he got pressed into basically full-time duties, actual playing quarterback, not just a gadget play or two here or there. When Dalton went down with a knee injury, which, like you said, luckily not suspected to be season-ending or anything like that, more like week to week, which is good. But Fields had some rookie moments. I thought that he was really close on a couple of throws outside the numbers, in particular to Darnell Mooney, one of them at the end of the game that could have been a score that could have put it away. Instead, he misses that one, and then also Fields compounds that mistake by throwing an inexcusable interception late in the game that actually got the Bengals back into the football matchup. So Fields could have looked better, but now he's got a full week of reps with the number ones, and you can kind of build your entire game plan with the understanding that Fields is going to be your guy. So I'm expecting much better things from Justin Fields, even though the matchup isn't exactly a cupcake by any stretch, but I could also see the Browns getting out to a little bit of a lead, which would then you saw Justin Fields in limited play already have 10 carries, Sam. He's going to give you that rushing floor.
He will. But for the pass catchers then, someone like Allen Robinson, who hasn't had the start that you wanted him to have with where you drafted him.
Right.
He's kind of had a little bit of a rough start. He did get a touchdown last week, but he only had 2 receptions on 4 targets. So you don't love that. I'm kind of hoping he gets into the end zone again this week, but I wonder if because of the matchup, we're going to have to cap expectations in terms of just how many targets he gets.
It's going to be something where you want to kind of lower your expectations for all the pass catchers there in Chicago. I think you're going to get a heavy dose of David Montgomery, and you should. And it's going to be interesting to see how things open up for David Montgomery now that you have that option zone read, dual threat quarterback that can stress the defense in a whole bunch of different ways. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Bears offense looks in general across the board. So I would, if you have better options or at least quality options outside of Allen Robinson, who's been off to a slow start, and Darnell Mooney, I would consider them both kind of like wide receiver, low end twos, if not wide receiver threes this week until further notice.
Definitely. And then Montgomery did actually do very well against the Rams defense in week 1. He did have over 108 yards. He had a touchdown, 16 rush attempts. You love that. He had a great week then. So it's not completely discounted just because they're playing Cleveland defense that he's going to also not produce.
We're going to wait and see how this offensive line, how they fare against that Cleveland unit up front. I mean, it's been kind of a slow start for Myles Garrett to the year, so I'm actually expecting him to he's going to acquaint himself pretty well with Justin Fields. So we'll see how that goes. I feel like
he's a sleepy bear coming out of hibernation a bit late.
Are you doing a bear pun just because it's Chicago Bears? That was pretty good.
Yes. He's going to come out of hibernation to take on the Bears. That is for sure.
There we go. Got it. What other injuries do we have?
Sticking with this game, actually, Landry is out and he is injured. He is week to week, but he's on IR. The new way that they have IR is he's definitely out 3 weeks, I believe. On IR, and then he could be available to come off of IR. And OBJ is still out. He's not likely to start this game either. Do you feel like there is a different pass catcher you'd rather have in Cleveland, or do you think that other players get the better uptick in terms of targets and volume? Austin Hooper, someone that I think is going to see, if anything, maybe a couple more targets, but maybe not by a lot.
Hopefully Hooper. I mean, I guess if you're looking for maybe some kind of like sleeper options, it's kind of, I'm not loving any of the wide receivers this week for the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah.
Me personally, I actually thought the Bears defense did, for the most part, a pretty damn good job against Joe Burrow and the likes of Jamar Chase and T. Higgins for most of that matchup until the fourth quarter where they gave up 2 late scores.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm just going to go ahead and stay the hell away from all the Cleveland pass catchers. Hooper would be the one that I would actually, in tight end, I'd be willing to, roll the dice on.
Definitely. I mean, if you're in a position where you're streaming tight end or you're in a tight end premium league and you have to add an additional tight end to your roster that week, I think that he's someone I would love to take a flyer on just because if there's a chance, it could be this week, just given their options there for pass catchers. But
Rashad Hollywood Higgins would be the one. If you got to take a shot on a wide receiver and you're in a deep PPR league, I would say Rashad Higgins.
All right. Love to shoot our shot. Rashad Higgins, you heard it here first. But hey, if he ends up playing out for someone who throws him in a DFS lineup, you're gonna be super stoked.
Oh yeah, you know it. At me, Dtater4.
Oh my gosh. All right, well, back to your Bucks, because I feel like every week we have to talk about each other's teams, just without a doubt. It has to happen. But AB has COVID, so he is not likely to start this weekend. Now I don't personally know. I don't know that if it's out or not, if he is vaccinated, because vaccinated players need to have 2 negative tests 24 hours apart.
Correct. So he is capable. He is vaccinated, and he's capable of being able to be available for Sunday if he indeed gets 2 negative test results within or separated by 24 hours. So it's possible he could be available, but with how many options the Bucs have, I wouldn't even be surprised if he was available, if they just made him inactive.
Yeah.
And they just roll with everybody else they have, and Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Gronk, who is like the tight end 1 right now in standard leagues. It's nuts. By the way, did you see that ESPN analysis of him saying he doesn't watch film?
Yes, I did. That was
it was gold. It was. I don't watch tape. I just run by guys.
So Gronk being Gronk, doing Gronk things. When has he had a reality show yet? Do you know?
He needs one.
He needs one so badly. I mean, even if he had his own podcast or like daytime talk show, like I'm sure the ratings would be off the charts because Gronk does Gronk things and will always be Gronking. So, okay, if Antonio Brown is not in this weekend, for me, I don't see a single pass catcher jumping out outside of the pass catchers we already are familiar with getting more targets. If anything, a couple more go to Godwin, a couple more go to Evans. And like you were saying, Gronkowski is leading anyways at the position across the league in terms of targets. So I feel like if anything, it could be just another Gronk game.
It's going to be interesting to see where the Bucs decide to attack this Rams defense too. We saw the Bucs go up against the Dallas Cowboys and the Atlanta Falcons. I don't think either of us anyway, or most NFL analyst pundits expected either of those teams to really be formidable pass defenses. So it's going to be interesting to see this Bucs unit tested, because Brady's obviously been off to a great start with 9 touchdown passes through the first 2 weeks. Holy crap, go Bucs!
I know, right? He's been absolutely ridiculous. I don't think there is a situation. I mean, even with the Rams defense and all of us saying, you know, the Rams defense are likely going to be the #1 defense at the end of the season. Like, they are just so stacked and so efficient. I would not bench a single Bucs player in this offense, though. I mean, maybe I would bench. I'm having to like look and scroll. Like, in a deep league, maybe I'm not going to throw Giovanni Bernard in as a running back because it's a 16-teamer and I've got other options that I like to match up better. Like, there's a couple players that I would rather, but not a lot. I mean, maybe Rojo I bench this week because he just hasn't been that efficient just in general.
Neither is Fournette. The running game has really has kind of struggled, and they've gone to the air every single time they've gotten inside the 10-yard line. I mean,
but what you do like with Fournette is you are getting a couple targets each week anyways, and he is getting a good healthy amount of attempts. So if anything, that he's the only viable running back I would start this week anyways, just like you said, based on efficiency so far.
Sneaky play, the off the radar one maybe for DFS, Scotty Miller. Okay. If Antonio Brown's a no-go, Scotty will probably get a couple extra reps, could pop a couple big plays, because Jalen Ramsey's got to cover somebody, and I don't think it's going to be Scotty Miller. So
that's true. I can't see him saying, like, this is my assignment this week. Scotty doesn't know anything.
Ooh, okay. By the way, Matt Damon cameo.
Matt Damon cameo.
One of the do you know who he was in that?
Yeah. Movie? No, I know. He was in the band. Yeah,
he was the one that was screwing Scotty's girlfriend. That's not cool.
I know, but I mean, come on, it's Matt Damon. So
it is Matt Damon, yeah.
It is what it is. Let's go ahead and just really quickly, because we talked about your Bucs, just a little bit about my Steelers. I know that we're a little bit dinged up. You know, gonna stay positive. Ben is questionable and didn't practice today. But he's a veteran, doesn't have to practice if he doesn't want to. So to me, it's okay. He's going to play anyways. It's a little pec issue. He's played with broken ribs, broken fingers, and a broken foot. He's going to play. He's not going to not play.
I'm just a little disappointed that the Steelers did not have a better contingency plan than Dwayne Haskins. Like,
we will move on from that from now, because I can't cry. I'm wearing not waterproof mascara. Don't make me cry.
I think we're getting Najee Harris this week. I think
we're getting a lot of Najee Harris this week. Ooh,
load up. Big Najee week. You know, if Deontay can't go, I like Chase Claypool for DFS.
I do too, a lot, especially in this matchup. I mean, it's prime for a good week for Claypool. Like, this is a good red zone week. I feel it. He's been in the wings waiting for one of those big plays, and I'm just excited for him this week. Maybe he doesn't get a huge passing touchdown. Maybe
he's one of those players that can always pop too. Like, just got that oozes with big play potential every time he steps on the football field. So, I mean, if things open up a little bit for him, you know, I think the Bengals defense is better than people give it credit for, but I still think the opportunities will be there in particular, if Deontay's unavailable.
Yeah. In my IDP league, I have Sam Hubbard off of their defense, and he's pretty formidable. So I'm there are some good bright spots in their defense that we'll have to be wary of. But
Jesse Bates is a really nice player. Yeah, no, they're better than people give them credit for.
Definitely. But I'm definitely excited for the thought of this being a big Najee Harris game, just because if Ben is a little bit dinged up and he doesn't want to be heaving the ball down the field, he's going to do a lot of dink and dunk passes all to Najee Harris. Let's go. I love him so much. How do I not have a jersey yet? I'm going to order that before the day is over right now.
Do it now.
Adds to cart in the middle of podcast.
All right. You can share your screen. We do have those capabilities in 2021.
We do. Guys, which one should I get? No, let's stay on to fantasy football before we start talking about what jerseys I
Right.
own, and it's already too many. Let's move on to the Thursday night game, because I want to talk about the fact that we've got Davis Mills in at quarterback instead of Tyrod Taylor.
Yeah. By the way, no Deshaun Watson, as if that ship had not already sailed. Yeah,
They
but
basically immediately announced it as soon as they said, "Oh, Tyrod Taylor won't be starting, and Deshaun's not playing." Like, they said that slightly louder than they announced the injury to Tyrod Taylor.
I think that head coach David Culley of the Texans was like, the door was like possibly open. He's like, I really don't know if Tyrod, and then like, no, go ahead, get back out there, get back to the podium, and go ahead and tell everybody that Deshaun is not playing. By the way,
Pivot. We're not. No, don't even want the question to come out of anyone's mouth. It was like a reporter was like, "And Will, nope, he's not playing."
It's kind of like similar what they did with the Chicago Bears. Like Matt Nagy was asked, like, "Hey, if Dalton's healthy, is he the starter or is it Justin Fields?" And he's like, "Well, I don't want to go ahead and divulge my scheme and reveal who my starting quarterback is." And then as soon as he walked out of the room, like a Bears representative came out and like jumped in front of the mic and said, "Oh, by the way, Dalton is our starter just in case he's healthy." Like, inconsistency communication wise. But anyway, we got the Texans, we got the Panthers, we got WinView Games. You're going 1-on-1 with the Tate one. By the way, I played 3 contests last week. First, second, first.
Nice. Let's go. I did not do as well in my Washington matchup. However, my Sunday night game, I was 10 out of 10. Let's go. That's pretty sick.
That's sick.
I was pretty stoked. I got the little notification on my phone. I was like, what? This is a fun little congratulations. You every single one of your props.
That's awesome.
I was like, oh, I feel so smart. This kind of helps heal the wound of the Steelers' loss just a tiny bit.
Bravo.
But thank you. Let's go ahead and throw this up on for everyone to see. We didn't show this last week, but we will show it every week going forward, so you guys can see a little bit in terms of just the user face interaction on WinView if you're not already familiar with it. We will go through each of the questions as we process these props. So as you go through, then you get to click and hit predict for each of the questions.
Thank you. I will go ahead and do that. It's my screen.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. All right. So we've got the first question, which is, will the Texans win the game? Is it yes or is it a no? So I think the Texans will not win the game. So I would hit no.
So I'm going hard no, and obviously how the interface plays. So you have to pick an answer, but as you can see, you get extra pointage. Extra pointage, Sam, if you correctly guess 4.1 times whatever you want to wager, which, by the way, you can wager 250, 500, 750, and you get the little risk-free 751 shot. So I don't think the Texans are going to win this game, but I'm going to save my one shot to add on top of it because you only get 1.8 times your wager for getting this one right. So I'm still going to put the max amount because I do think the Carolina Panthers are going to win this one, but I'm going to save that 751 shot. What do you think?
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that makes total sense. Lock it, load it, on to the next one.
Cool. Well, decided to go ahead and go all the way to question number uno. So, hey, I want to go ahead and go. God almighty.
Click on question number 9.
There we go. Question number 9. You can also bring up the graphic. You have the graphics as well.
I do have the graphic.
Yes. I'm just saying,
Stand by. Okay. Give me a second.
Stand by.
Okay, wait. And I got it. Let's go. Okay. Will Houston have 2 or more players record 5+ receptions?
So I say the answer is no. I personally, because we got Davis Mills, right? We don't know. I feel confident that maybe Brandon Cooks will catch 5 passes.
And that is absolutely the thing. I definitely think if you're starting any player on the Texans, and you have to, it's going to be Brandon Cooks because the offense currently is moving only through him. I have no confidence any other receiver will also be recording more than 5 receptions. I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, if that's what I'm saying, you're going through how many completions is Davis? Do you even expect from Davis Mills? That's a real question. Like how much? Like what would that answer be for you? Probably like what? Maybe 20. Like that's best case scenario. Probably where you
20 feels high.
It does,
and it feels bad to say.
It does. And if you take a look at last week, Brandon Cooks caught 9 passes against the Browns. You know who the next highest reception total was for the Houston Texans? David Johnson with 2. 2.
It's mean to laugh. It's mean to laugh, right? I shouldn't laugh. It's so bad.
Someone is real. I mean, in order to be able to for 2 players to hit that 5 reception total, I just think that that's a tall order, given that I don't think that there's a clear number 2 option in Houston. Hell, even the running back position, Mark Ingram and Phillip Lindsay and David Johnson are all kind of rotating in. It's a hot mess when it comes to the floor that you can expect in the passing game outside of Brandon Cooks. So I think this one's an easy no for me.
Yep, definitely. Go ahead and hit no there. Where'd the no go?
I will. So, but instead of hitting the no,
yeah,
I'm going to just click to prediction number 8 so I can go ahead and not have to get stuck on the interface, which was my bad. It's not WinView's fault. It's Derek Tate's fault. Just understand that. As we're moving to question number 8, will either team score a touchdown on defense or special teams in this game? Sam.
Ooh, that's a good question. Will either team score a touchdown in this game? I don't think that they will. I think there will be a good, handsome amount of turnovers, but I don't see a defense scoring a touchdown in this one.
Ooh, you got a rookie quarterback in this Carolina defense. He could make a lot of mistakes.
Sure. Okay.
This Carolina defense is off to a great start. Like, do I know that they're as good as they've played through the first 2 weeks? No, but they are going up against a green as grass rookie that doesn't really have a lot of options. So I think that if they're playing from behind, like I expect them to be, I do expect the Panthers to win this football game and be able to put up some points against the Texans defense. I'm kind of thinking that Davis Mills is going to be asked to throw the ball more than I think David Culley and the Texans organization would like him to in this game. So more opportunities means more opportunities to make mistakes, and mistakes can lead to big plays on the defensive side of the football. Brian Burns is a stud. Yeah, go ahead, and I'm going to say yes, because 5 times, and that's even if Sam Darnold, who in the past has been an interception machine in moments, doesn't make mistakes himself. Yeah. So the risk reward is enough for me to go ahead and go 5 times. I'm going yes.
And you'd go 750 on this one as well?
Yeah, I mean, you actually lose the points though too. That's something that is interesting when making these wagers. So if you kind of just feel like, I don't really know on this one, you could go 250.
Okay.
But scared money don't make money. So I'm picking the answer that I think is right. And if I'm thinking it's right, then I might as well be confident and put 750 on it.
Okay. I hear you on that. All right. Let's go to the next question then. Question 7. Will McCaffrey rush for 90+ yards in this game? Yeah.
This isn't quite as easy as you would think, but I am going to go. I'm going to bank on the fact that I think the Panthers are going to be playing from ahead, and we're going to see a heavy dose of Christian McCaffrey. So could he pop a big one at some point? I think he will. I don't know if it'll be like a 50-yard tutty, but I think he's going to have multiple runs of over 20 yards in this game. So, yes, I do think he hits the 90-yard mark.
I agree. I mean, he had 72 yards last week in rushing, and then the week before that, he had 98. Yeah. I mean, it's not far-fetched to me that he would hit 90. So I agree. I would go yes on this one. And is this one that you would also hit the 750 on?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to, again, I'm again,
play to win the game. I hear you.
Play to win the game, Sam. Exactly. And by the way, if folks want to go ahead, when you're catching our podcast over on drroto.com, go ahead and we're going to leave a link in the description. If you want to actually play against us, again, I'm consistent with my username, Sam. Mine's dtater4.
I'm not.
All right. Again, commitment issues. Just need to commit to one username. So everybody.
That's like my tagline. I should put that on my Twitter banner. Like I have my profile picture. I have my banner. This is Dr. Roto. It says that I'm in the Scott Fish Bowl. And then next to that, it should say commitment issues.
Nothing like having your favorite fantasy analyst have commitment issues. Nice.
Everywhere else except for fantasy.
Okay. Well, there you go. That's the tagline you need.
That's the tagline.
That's
Okay.
it. That's the
Throw it on
tagline.
a t-shirt. It works. All right. So question 6, will Carolina rush for more yards than Houston?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm just going to leave it at, yeah.
That is a quick and easy yes for me as well.
Cool.
They're not getting with Davis Mills. I'm just worried about them getting anything started in the first place. And though they've had a couple good half moments, because I'm just trying to give them credit for making things happen, it's not at all what you would want. So I just don't think that they're going to have more rushing yards than Carolina. When
I do have to tip my hat to Houston. They have been far better than I could have possibly imagined heading into this season. The Jags game, I thought was like, okay, they're playing the team that finished 1-15 the season prior. You know, okay, you got them, but they showed up against Cleveland. Like I really was impressed, and still am impressed with how David Culley's done despite all of the turmoil. So I don't want to like completely dismiss the Houston Texans in this game, but I think it's a tall order with a rookie quarterback.
Also, I mean, if we just said that Christian McCaffrey is going to have over 90 yards rushing, I just don't see even the cumulative group of running backs having more rushing yards than Christian McCaffrey.
Agreed with that.
All right. So moving on to number 5. Boom. Graphics.
Kaboom.
It's hard for some people. Question 5. Will DJ Moore or Brandon Cooks score a touchdown?
I'm going to say yes. I believe one of the two is going to score a touchdown. Now, if it was I would be all over the no on that.
Yeah.
But I will go with one of the two scoring a touchdown in this game.
I also like that WinView throws questions like this in there because it's just kind of fun. Like DJ or Cooks? Yes, that's like kind of an easy yes. I like questions like that.
In particular, when you're looking at the advantage with 4 times, if you get the answer, if one of those two do score, I mean, again, that kind of tips the scales a little bit for me to go ahead and say, okay, you're getting 2 guys who are the number 1 passing options on the outside. Yeah, I'm willing to roll the dice for 4 times compared to 1.7 for answering no.
Absolutely. Easy yes on that one. Number 4, will both teams combine for 3 or more turnovers?
I'm going to say no. I think that, I could.
With the defensive question before and them being able to capitalize on a rookie and just like such an inept quarterback under center for the Texans, I mean, you don't think that even just Davis Mills can have at least 3 turnovers?
Of course he could. Yes. All right. You know what? Fine. This is the first time ever on the fantasy debate with Sam and Tate here on Dr.
Your logic against you.
You've talked me into something. I've switched.
Oh my gosh. I don't have anything to celebrate this moment. It's never happened.
I don't know what to do.
I should have gotten like one of those poppers for glitter and just that would have been hilarious.
Tequila. Why don't you have any tequila ready for this?
I should just have tequila next to me at all times.
Celebratory tequila moment.
Oh my God. Okay, well, I'm going to fix that. Next week, there will be tequila somewhere in this room. I will hide it.
I'll join you.
Not that it's going to likely happen where I get you to change your mind, but yay. Score 1 for Sam.
Yeah, you got this one. So yes, I'll say this: if there's one where I'm kind of like on the fence about,
fine. You can go ahead and put 250 on this. You don't have to do your full 750, whatever. Fine. I see how it is. But
that's what
hey,
I'm rolling.
I got you to change your mind. That's all that matters.
You did. You won this battle.
Going on to question number 3: will Darnold throw for 250 or more total yards?
If I'm thinking that McCaffrey is going to put up 90 plus on the ground, I just don't think Sam Darnold's going to have to throw for all that much. I'm actually going to go no on this answer, just strictly because I don't think that Darnold's going to have to throw the ball all over the yard in order to put the Texans away.
Even though he did have over 250 yards in the last 2 games?
He did. And I was kind of higher on the Panthers offense than a lot of folks were. I was higher on Sam Darnold as a late round quarterback.
Yeah.
And I'm just because I really like the trio of DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, and Terrace Marshall, even though he hasn't gotten off to a fast start.
He will eventually. Hold on to him, kids.
See, I think you can drop him in a standard league right now. Dynasty, obviously, he's not going anywhere. But I mean, just
who is playing in a standard, like outside of like your office league? Who's playing in a standard league anymore? I feel like all the people I talk to, at least, and maybe I'm only talking to analysts now, and I need to talk to other people. But at the same time, everyone has such deep leagues now. Everyone has really gone all out. It's so rare for me to hear about a 10-team league anymore. Like, I mean, hopefully he's rostered and it's warranted being in a deep league, but I do still think he's going to have potential as the season
okay.
goes on. I still think that he's worth holding on to as a bench stash. I mean, if you're in a super shallow league, I guess so. But
Yeah, I personally, I just don't think that there's enough targets to go around, and I don't necessarily. And when you take a little bit closer look, I mean, all right. So we're talking about Terrace Marshall. We're talking about Sam Darnold. I'm personally just thinking that they're not going to have to throw the ball that much. I don't think
against
he's going to
Houston.
get. I don't think he's going to get to 250. That's what my gut's telling me.
Okay.
Hashtag analysis. Going with the gut feeling. You
Go with the
know,
gut. Hey,
going
I
with the gut.
respect that. You know, when I enter my own, you know, WinView moment and everyone goes and sees mine and they see that mine doesn't match yours, it's gonna be okay. But you know, this is the one where I'm gonna stick to my guns. I think he is gonna go throw for over 250 just because Houston has surprised us to in the first 2 weeks of just being a little bit more competitive than we thought they would be. I don't think that they're going to be super competitive because again, Davis Mills, but at the same time, you just never know. And I feel like Darnold's just gonna just maybe edge out the 250 mark.
Okay. Okay. All
Yep.
right. Two more questions.
2 more. All right. Will both teams combine for 43 points?
That's a pretty low total in today's NFL as
It
far
is.
as like a total points line. So I'm gonna say yes.
Yeah, I'll say yes as well.
The only thing that kind of makes me want to take
Under?
the no on this one is strictly the rookie quarterback. We just don't know what we're gonna get from the Texans offense as far as production goes, and that includes obviously in the most important part of it, the points department. So
I mean, this could end up being a game where it's just kicks all over the field and field goals everywhere, and just eventually you get 1 or 2 touchdowns, and it's a messy one, but you end up somehow getting to that 43.
okay, so that actually will bring us to the final question.
Let's go.
Does Carolina win this football game by 8 or more points?
Yes.
Ooh, okay.
You think it's going to be close?
Well, you just talked about how you think it could be a little bit uglier than.
I think it's going to be an ugly game. I don't think it's going to be. I mean, we've been kind of spoiled with primetime games the first 2 weeks. I think everyone's been very happily, pleasantly surprised by all these primetime games going and being so competitive. I think this might be the game that messes that up for everyone. But
I mean, Davis Mills. Hey, hold on. Davis Mills' starting debut could be fireworks. Could be fire lit, as the kids say nowadays. But
on fire, dumpster fire.
Or that. So that being said, I would actually probably go with the fact that I think Carolina, who have looked pretty good through the first 2 weeks, I think they handle their business against the rookie quarterback in his NFL debut.
Okay. I think they handle the business. I think they win. And I do think that they win by 8 or more points. So do you want to go through this list quickly for the viewers of this? If you're listening on the podcast, I'm sorry you can't see this amazing user interface, but maybe tune in for the video at a separate time so you can see exactly how it works. Super fun.
That's exactly what you can do. You can also the link, Sam, the exact link, the promo code. We have it up. It is, got to bring this back up. Sorry. You have all the promotional materials. It's winview.tv/doc. When you make your first deposit,
yes,
they will match up to $20. And that could be jumping up here pretty soon. But we're going to go ahead and we're just teasing you a little bit. Just a little tease. But so that is going to do it for the WinView Games contest. Again, go ahead and friend me on there. Join, have an account. You can compete against us.
Yeah, please do. I'm at Sam Awesome on the WinView Games.
Something where you're either Samantha R. Hold or Sam _ awesome or Sam at awesome. Like, is it? I see a lot of humility in your username.
I just, I hit dingers. So it's just one of those things.
Okay, you did not just quote Big Alfred D'Elia. Wow. My name's Big Al and I hit dingers. Wow.
You're welcome.
Well played.
Hashtag analysis over here. Debate with Sam and Tate. Wait, did you want to run through making all the selects on this real quick?
Oh, yeah, I can do that, of course.
Okay.
So I already put in my answer for number 10. So if you can bring back up that slide, but I think it was just basically who was going to win the game. And I have the Carolina Panthers winning the football game. So
it says, will the Texans win the game? And that was a hard pass. No.
So that was a no. So that was a hard no. Yeah. This one, do 2 or more Houston players record at least 5 receptions in the game? My answer, no. Sam answer, no. Now, either team record a special teams or defensive touchdown in the game. I'm going with yes. Enough upside there.
You convinced me yes on that one.
Okay. So we both had one where we convinced each other. Then we've got Christian McCaffrey rushing for more than 90 yards. Sam and I are both on the yes train for that one. Carolina records more total rushing yards than Houston in the game. We'll take the one superstar over the committee to go ahead and drop a pretty nice rushing total. I think he hits the 100-yard mark plus in this game. Does Christian McCaffrey. Then DJ Moore or Brandon Cook score a touchdown in this game? Held to the yes. 4 times 4. Your answer.
Yes.
Whatever your wager is. Both teams combined for 3 or more turnovers. You talked me over on this one, Sam. We're rolling yes. We think Davis Mills can have 3 on his own.
Mess it up. It's going to be an ugly game, people.
Sam Darnold throwing for more than 250 yards. We're split on this one. I'm going no. I'm
going yes.
I don't think the Panthers are going to have to air the ball out that much, but Darnold's gone for over 260, I believe it is, in his first 2 games of the season. That offense is clicking. Both teams combined for 43 or more points. We're both going to roll yes, kind of a low point total or total points for a National Football League game in 2021, but it could get ugly. And speaking of ugly, we expect the Texans to struggle with Davis Mills in his first NFL start. So we both believe, yes, the Carolina Panthers will win this football game by 8 or more points.
Yep, 100% agree with you on that. So again, if you guys have not already, please go over to WinView Games. That is, I just got rid of the graphic because why would I do that in the middle of the show? That is winview.tv/doc. winview.tv/doc, and a $20 deposit match when you enter $20 on your first deposit. So go ahead and do that. It is a lot of fun. I've really enjoyed doing them. It's so easy too on my phone. It's such a quick predict. And then you just lock in the lineup. It's so much easier than other apps that I've used. So I really love that about it.
No, it's an easy, fun, and a lot of even their free games, they have free tickets into $10 paid contests, which the only drawback, I can't play in those right now because I live in the state of Michigan and I've already won 3 free tickets into $10 contests and I can't use them. Can I sell them on the open market? I need to talk to somebody over at WinView.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Get at me, Josh Miller. Let me know, man. I gotta go ahead and give away these free tickets, $10, to some of our listeners here on the Fantasy Debate with Sam and Tate here on drroto.com.
Thanks so much, guys, for listening to the Fantasy Debate with Sam and Tate. Check out all the other content, seasonal and DFS tools, as well as premium access to our staff for all your fantasy sports questions in the members-only Discord right here at drroto.com.
Thanks for stopping by the office. Get your fantasy prescription by subscribing to the channel and checking out drroto.com. And until the next visit, be well and take care.
I hit the button too fast.
Take care. I got my sign off cut off. So until next time, you saw the outro. Later, says the tater. Samantha.
Sorry.
Yes, you did. You cracked me up.
I'm sorry, guys. You're going to have to